Hello everyone, I'm William Woodall, and today we're going to be doing a different type of video. It is a collaboration project with a fellow vlogger of mine known as Emma Scholler. I will be putting her vlog in the description below, and so you can see her content. And she does work performance, interviews, and all that stuff to be prepared for and what knowledge you need to have when going on a job interview. And to collaborate this into my work, we are going to be doing a work performance review for villains, and this villain we're going to be doing is none other than Magneto. Let's get into it. But before we dive into giving Magneto's performance as a villain, let's just give a brief history just so you know and are familiar with Magneto. For those of you not familiar with Magneto, he is the main antagonist of the X-Men and Marvel Comics X-Men franchises, and he has a very tragic backstory. He was actually a Polish Jew captured in Nazi Germany, and it was a Holocaust survivor, and he only wanted all mutants on Earth to be shared equality and live in harmony and not be oppressed or suffer like how he did in his younger days, and would eventually turn on the X-Men for trying to protect humanity. But ultimately Magneto's goal and the Brotherhood of Mutants want nothing more than humanity's destruction and to set mutant freedom permanently. With that brief backstory and summary out of the way, we are going to be going over his backstory, complexity, capacity of how evil is he justified, and what are his special skills. So with his backstory, which we already briefly covered in Magneto's summary, he is actually a Holocaust survivor during the times of Nazi Germany and was oppressed and taken away from his parents, had both of them killed. He saw his own mother die in front of him when Sebastian Shaw shot his mother, trying to unlock Magneto's powers in his youthful age after he tried to open the gates when he was younger after being taken away to the concentration camp. Then many years later, he would meet Charles Xavier and the other mutants and start the first X-Men class, trying to teach mutants and then bring peace, power to the world, and possibly one day unite humanity and the mutants. But ultimately, Magneto doesn't go along with this plan. It takes his own alternate route, killing Sebastian Shaw as an act of revenge and smite, and then turning on Charles Xavier and the rest of the mutants and humanity, and starting the Brotherhood to eventually bring down humanity. With the backstory out of the way, I believe that gives us our first check on the work performance list of how he is as a villain. Now, Magneto's complexity as a villain is fairly interesting because he's actually striving towards a goal, which is actually to free his fellow mutant brethren away from the oppression of humanity as once suffered under the reign of the Nazi regime. Even though he may seem cold and merciless to those around him, he actually does deeply care about his fellow mutants and wants to help free them from humanity. Which gives us our next check on the list. His capacity for evil is actually very low because he's only working towards a greater goal for his own kind of people, which would be the mutants, from his past is a prime example for how he was only persecuted for being a Jew just because he was different from the rest of the Germans. And now the same thing is happening from humanity towards the mutants. Humanity trying to actually cure and get rid of the mutants, and Magneto is making a stand with his fellow mutant brothers and sisters, saying that they should be accepted as people too. Which is giving us our next check on the list. Now, for all villains, they have to have a good reasoning, which we already explained the reasoning, but the most important aspect to me of a villain is, are they truly justified? In some sense, Magneto was conceptually right, as in the first few attempts he actually wanted humanity to join the mutants, even try to transform into mutants, and then when that objectively failed, he actually tried to wipe off humanity as a last resort. But is Magneto truly justified for what all he's done for mutant kind, even through his past and everything? I'm very mixed about his character and his choices of how he's justified or not, because as we all know, humanity is scared of change and what's unknown or what's unpredictable. In Magneto's side of the battle, he is justified, but on humanity's side and X-Men side, they would see him as nothing but a tyrant or a monster, even though all Magneto wanted was just for mutants to be free and equal. Which gives us the next check on our list. Now, for our final item on the list, what special skills does Magneto hold? And obviously, if you don't know Magneto, he literally does have the ability to control metal and any metallic object, shaping it lifting it up in the air as if it was telekinesis almost, and be one of the most powerful mutants on the planet, and also be able to strongly control his emotions, as his powers do come from his emotions, whether it be anger, hope, fear, sadness. He's learned to control all of them and how to maximize his power for the best efforts in his success. And I believe that checks out all items on our list, and Magneto's work performance report on how to be a villain is 100% complete. He fits the meta and criteria of being a villain, and definitely earns the spot of being the main antagonist of the X-Men in the Marvel franchise. And I believe that is all for this video, so please like, subscribe, and I am out.